Hi everyone, great to see you. One second, just got some sort of message come up here. Not too sure what that means, but I'll click off it. I think that's it sorted. Okay, where was that? Welcome back to Winning the Game of Business Live. Now, before we dive into today's subjects, let me just get the elephant in the room out of the way. Because I know I'm about to talk about New Year's resolutions a month early. So consider this to be a little bit of a soft apology, but trust me, I'm sure you'll thank me later, because what usually happens is everyone has this quiet December, bit of time off, and then wakes up on the 1st of January in a bit of a frenzy, trying to become the best version of themselves for the new year. And every year it's the same: new habits, new plans, new routines, new gym memberships, new enthusiasm. And we all know what happens next, don't we? But here's the thing: 95% of all good intentions fade away. And that's not necessarily because people lack discipline, it's because they're focusing on the wrong thing. So today I've got what I believe could be a much better alternative for you than New Year's resolutions. Now, before I forget, I did put a note on my screen to remind me that from Monday the 1st of December all the way to Christmas, I'll be running something special for you every single morning. It's going to be a short, powerful daily business insight, a practical idea, something you can implement immediately so that you can finish the year off strong and set next year up properly. So make sure you're tuned in for those. Now, back to New Year's resolutions. Every December, a lot of business owners start thinking, right, next year I'm going to be more productive. I'll get myself more organized. I'll finally focus on some kind of strategy. I'll build much better habits. But here's the brutal truth: you can't. You can't add new things on top of a full plate. And most business owners don't fail because their goals are wrong. They fail because their plates are overflowing. So that means that if you start next year with the same plate, the same tasks, the same habits, the same responsibilities, you'll get the same results. That's the definition of madness, isn't it? So instead of making a long list of things you want to start doing, I want you to create something that will be far more powerful for you. And that is a stop doing list. A stop doing list. And this is a list of things that you know you shouldn't be doing, tasks that are below your pay grade, work that someone else could do, things that drain your energy, things that you tend to procrastinate over, things that because you don't enjoy doing them, you're never going to get any better at them. There are any cheap tasks stealing time from you doing high value work or thinking. So a stop doing list will free up your mental bandwidth. And that new free mental bandwidth you can now use to do things that can actually grow your business. Things like strategy, vision, coaching your team, reviewing the performance of your team, reviewing your own performance, building capability, making decisions, creating opportunities, anything that can move the business forward. Okay, let me give you some maths on this. If you can identify even 30 minutes a day of things that you shouldn't be doing, tasks that drain you, tasks that someone else could handle better, that gives you back 2.5 hours a week. That's 130 hours a year. That's 3.5 weeks of focus time that you've bought back just by getting back 30 hours a day. Now, imagine giving yourself an extra 3.5 weeks to develop the business, 3.5 weeks to learn, grow, and think. 3.5 weeks that could be for family time. It could be for rest. It could be for breathing room. 3.5 weeks of focus on what actually matters. That's the power of a stop doing list. So the question would be, what kind of things belong on that list? For me, it's things like tasks you're paying other people to do. In other words, and this might hurt a little bit, you're paying them to do it, but you're doing it, so you're paying them to be your audience. Anything that takes you a lot longer than someone else who enjoys actually doing that work. Anything administrative that can be systemised. Anything repetitive that you could automate. Anything someone else on your team is better at. Anything you're only doing out of habit. Anything that doesn't move your business forward. That includes thinking. Anything below your pay grade as an owner. And the key is to write down the task, write down how much time it will take you or it takes you to do, and then write down what action you need to do to remove that from your plate. Because a stop doing list, it isn't a wish list, it's a plan. It's a plan. So here's my challenge for you today. Your challenge is to get every single item on your stop doing list off your plate by the end of January. Not March, not summer, not when things quieten down. Get them off your list by the end of January. Why January? Because if you do that, you've then got 11 full months of next year working with that new mental bandwidth instead of the same old bottlenecks, and you'll find that you're able to think clearer, you'll have more energy, and you'll solve problems faster. You'll also spot opportunities earlier. You'll be more strategic in your thinking simply because you finally have the time to be more strategic. So this isn't about being more efficient. This isn't about being more effective. It's because your job as the owner is not to do everything. It's to do the right things. So next year doesn't necessarily require a better version of you. It requires a less overloaded version of you. A version of you with the space to breathe, the space to think, the space to lead. Okay, let me bring this all together. So here's your homework before Monday. Write your stop doing list and identify at least 6 things that add up the weekly time that you'll reclaim by stopping doing these things. Then write the action that's going to get that off your plate and commit to getting that done by the 31st of January. Do this, and I promise you, you'll enter the new year with clarity, calm, and momentum. Okay, remember, no lives next week, but from Monday the 1st of December, I'll be with you every morning up to Christmas to help you finish strong and win this great game of business. Until then, start saying no, start freeing your time, and start building a business you're meant to own. Thank you for joining me.